And what is the incumbent mayor, what is his platform as compared to yours?
Well, the incumbent mayor's platform is a good old boys club platform of keeping things generally the same way that they've been for the last 8 years. And that's passing urban renewal districts without enough public input. That's not having transparency in government. Basically, pertaining to the city council, the mayor comes up with a plan and the council basically agrees with it.
So real quick, maybe you could just tell us why you feel you're qualified to be the mayor of Nampa.
I'm qualified to be mayor of Nampa because I have over 30 years of business experience. Running a city is like running a business. In a business, you have to deal with the public. In running a city, you have to deal with the public, and you have to know how to budget the money. You're part of the process. And I ran a successful business. And I realized that was only a 25-employee business, and Nampa's a business with a lot more employees than 25. However, that's where good managers come in. I was very good at hiring people for my business. I was very good at delegating responsibility, and I would be very good at doing the same for the city of Nampa.
What kind of jobs do you want to bring into Nampa? What kind of businesses do you want to see here?
Okay, Boise and Nampa, the whole area, it has people that are very well educated, especially in the fields of technology. You've heard of the Nampa Valley in California, where Intel is at, and a lot of other electronics companies. We have Micron here. We have Hewlett-Packard in Boise. I want to bring more of that electronics into Nampa, but not just that. We need manufacturers in biotechnology for the alternative fuel industry. We need more nanotechnology jobs. We need jobs, in alternative energy, windmills, solar, and so I want to bring that kind of manufacturing into the Nampa area. You get that kind of manufacturing into the area; those are things that are going to create growth in jobs. They're jobs that you can maintain. It's not like General Motors Corporation, where now China and everybody else is building the cars and they file for bankruptcy. You're bringing jobs in that are going to be here for generations to come. They're going to keep your grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren employed.
You say that Nampa is a pretty accepting community as it is. Do you have any, do you want to try to promote acceptance within the community, like using, let's not say the power of the office of the mayor, but, try to basically just promote acceptance amongst the citizens of Nampa?
When I become mayor, I'll do a real good job. People will see that. They'll see what kind of a person I am. Eventually, my being transgender won't be an issue anymore. That's how you do that. That's how I've been able to function as a transgender person. Once I change my gender, I walk up to people like I'm no different than anyone else. And I walk up to people and let them know that I genuinely love them. I love who they are. When people see me, when they talk to me, they realize that I'm just one of them, even though I look different.
The beginning of the interview went by rather quickly, and before we knew it, we had left our personal life behind and found ourselves deep in politics. But it was during this discussion of her politics that the weight of her personal story and the situation surrounding the creation of her identity finally hit us. We have all, at some point in our lives, felt the pressure to conform to our accepted cultural norms. We realized that she was raised in an era of intense social regulation. Schools began to show films representing model citizens. This signaled the first time the power of film was truly explored to try and shape America. A strong image of the nuclear family was brought into focus through these educational films and propaganda. The notion of the family unit was strongly enforced. Roles were clearly outlined for each member of the family in a rather rigid fashion. There was nothing subversive about the media from the 1950s. Children were told exactly how things were supposed to be according to the Christian way.
Rules in action. Rules that keep things going smoothly and fairly. Rules that help us get where we're going, help us work together and play together and live together.
The story of Melissa Sue Robinson is the story of a person indoctrinated into a system that left little room for individual variation from the norm. It was a system in which children were taught to believe that each gender had their own specific roles to play in life. The father was the breadwinner of the household. He is the leader and is not to be questioned. He was the atomic man. The mother was the caretaker of the house. She was responsible for raising the children and keeping the castle clean for her husband.
Her thrift is concerned with weighing the cost of present needs against the rewards of saving for future necessities. While always she considers price, she looks also for those values, those qualities that provide for better appearances or promise to give us lasting satisfactions.
The role of the young woman revolved primarily around aesthetics and the future of motherhood. She was to be polite at parties and actively avoid social scandals. Boys were supposed to look up to their fathers to learn what manhood was and someday prepare them for their family. The image of the father from the videos didn't exactly match with Melissa's own father.
My dad, he was one of these guys that liked to drink too much, and when he drank, he liked to be abusive. And so I never related to my dad. And being named after him, I don't think anyone should name their children after themselves, because that starts an identity crisis right there.
None of the people shown in these videos possessed a balance between the two genders. The man wanted to drive fast cars, womanize, and shoot a deer, while the woman was expected to apply herself towards her social environment and homemaking. There was no middle ground. Hours of footage exist teaching girls how to date men and how to socialize with them properly, to bring home that husband and to be that proper Stepford wife.
And he has implied his price range, so she will have some idea of what he can afford when she makes her choice. Carolyn likes it better this way, too. It's doing the girl no favor to leave it entirely up to her. It puts her on a spot.
All right, Wally. On Saturday at 5 then. Bye.
Well, that phone call didn't go on for hours. A pretty sensible attitude toward telephone conversations. Carolyn keeps a date calendar. Not a bad idea. She'll never have the embarrassment of forgetting a date or of being ready an hour too late.
And some of us, we don't feel 100% woman, we don't feel 100% guy. Some of us are in the middle. There's a psychologist, her name was Bem, I forgot her first name, that actually had a scale. It was called the Bem scale, okay? Male was on one side, female was on the other side. And it was on a continuum, and most people were somewhere along the continuum, okay?
Without another role model in her life, Melissa Sue felt compelled to fit the image of the macho man at the age of 16. 19 and fresh out of high school, Charles Stalins married his 16-year-old high school sweetheart. He had a child with this wife, and began to assume the role laid out in front of him years earlier. He was becoming the atomic man. He was married 2 more unsuccessful times after that. Finally, with his 4th wife, whom he had told on numerous occasions of his desire to become a woman, he made the decision to become a woman.
At that point, after I got my degree, that's when I told my wife that I was going to turn into Melissa, that I was going to change my gender. She was devastated, naturally, but she was a real angel about it, and became my best friend. And in the meantime, she got into a relationship with my former identical twin brother, and the two are in a relationship at this point.